Hey, what's going on, my hammies? Happy Friday and happy birthday to me. Why, yes, February 26, 2016 is my 33rd birthday. And I know what you're thinking. I only look like I'm 25, so let's go with that. So what I wanted to do today is go over a few things that made my year special and some of the things that I actually learned. Most people, January 1st is the beginning of the new year, but February 26th for me is the beginning of the new year. So I'm here, beautiful Thailand, heading down to the islands, go hang out with some great international friends in true minority nomad style. So let's go ahead and get to the list in no particular order. So the first one I want to talk about is something I touched on in my last video. It's okay to not be black enough. And I wanted to give a little more detail to where that came from. It specifically came from it started from a situation that I had in a Facebook group dedicated to black travelers. Article I wrote about being the first African American to go to every country in the world. Got a lot of heat and a lot of criticism, and it just kind of spiraled out of control from there. And you know, the whole comments of sell out, doing white boy shit, etc., started to roll in on my blogs. And then when I did the hashtag My Gay Pride project last year, a lot of things came in about me being a down low or undercover brother. Yeah, so that's where that came from. So this year I really learned that it's okay to be you. It's okay to not fit into any cultural stereotypes or any kind of labels that other people decide to put on you. It's important to be who you are and live life the way that you choose to live life, especially when you're not hurting anybody else. So that's one of the biggest things that I learned for this year, and it's definitely shaped me for 2016. So the next one is travel where I want to go. One of the big things that kind of navigates my travels is the pursuit to become the first African American to go to every country. With that pursuit comes some travel decisions and choices that I really don't want to make. I go to some places that I don't have no desire to go. And 2015 was definitely full of places that I didn't really enjoy going to. And through my blog and through some of my corporate clients, I end up having to go back to the same places over and over. I'm in Asia quite a bit because a lot of my clients are Asian companies. I go to Europe because that's one of the biggest US markets. And to be perfectly honest, I'm bored as hell. I'm just dying of boredom. And I know that sounds privileged as hell and elitist as hell, me complaining about being bored to go to Europe and Asia all the time. But from a personal and professional standpoint, my career is getting a little bit stagnant. So this year I plan to actually mix it up a bit and pursue places that I really want to go, like Iceland, Greenland, New Zealand. That's a lot of lands. Some safaris in Africa. I want to go back to Colombia, which I actually miss. I want to go trek down in Patagonia. I'm trying to coordinate that for this coming summer. So yeah, it's very important for me to travel to places I actually want to go in 2016. So this next one is something I really wish I would have realized or paid attention to when I was 25, 26 years old. I think it's important now to allow others to have their happiness. Anybody who knows me personally will tell you I'm very opinionated, and when I have an opinion about something, I feel like everybody should know. And if somebody has a different opinion, I make it my mission to absolutely destroy that person. And maybe that came from growing up in the inner city. Maybe it came from competing in speech and debate my entire life. Maybe it came from just a conflicted kind of nature. But I now realize that it's okay for other people to have different opinions of me, and I think that's important for not only my personal growth, but their personal growth as well, and our evolution as a society, as a human species, so to speak. And I found in 2015, 2014, I started to see myself get into really pointless debate. And for 2, 3, 4 days, I would go online back and forth with people and just waste time. It's like, for example, I did The Force Awakens, the new Star Wars movie. I didn't like it. I mean, I just thought it was a complete and utter ripoff. And for 3 to 4 days, I argued all over the internet about it. What did that achieve? Absolutely nothing. And it's okay to have a passionate opinion, but I personally have to make sure that I pick and choose my battles more intelligently, and sometimes realize that it's not a battle to be fought. If somebody has a different opinion of you that doesn't harm you or doesn't harm others, that's perfectly okay. So one of the great benefits of essentially being a freelancer and working for myself is that I really have no accountability. And that's a great thing, and it's a very, very bad thing. Like right now, it's February 26th, and I have 6 articles I need to finish by March 15th. If I would have just buckled down, I could have had them all done by now. But I've just been procrastinating. I've had writer's block. I've been preparing for my birthday celebration. And it's one of those things that I think any freelancer would tell you, and any creative, it's very difficult to self-police yourself sometimes. You get into these funks and these bubbles where the world is great, everything's going great, money's rolling in, and then all of a sudden that momentum just shifts into the opposite direction and you're stuck. So one of the biggest things I definitely want to do this year is hold myself more accountable, and I think we all can do that a little bit. Even if you have a boss, I think we're gonna hold ourselves accountable to hitting those the weight loss goals, or getting a side job, or reading another book, becoming more educated, spending more time with our family. I think it's important we hold ourselves accountable before we look for somebody else to hold us accountable. So this is something that most guys won't even open their mouths to say. I need to pay more attention to my health. And at 33, I feel like I'm at my physical and mental peak. I've not felt this great in my life, even when I was serving in the military. Now I feel amazing. But with that comes a shift. My body is significantly changing. There are certain aches and pains. There are movements I can't do the way that I did when I was a lot younger. And there are things that I have to pay attention to. I have a doctor in the US, a doctor in Thailand, who keep me regular on different vitamins and supplements, and keep an eye on my personal blood pressure, and diabetes runs in my family, so I have to keep an eye on that. But it's very, very important going into your early 30s, and this is for all guys, especially those of us who are transitioning from our 20s into our 30s, is to take care of ourselves, because you only get one body. Like, I feel like, and I'll agree to this, that in our 20s we don't really think about our bodies except for trying to become bigger, stronger, faster, or better looking. But in our 30s, we have to look at longevity now. We have to pay attention to how our body feels, and the damage that we're doing by eating that extra piece of cheesecake, or not doing push-ups when we wake up in the morning, and not going to see our doctor to get checked out for prostate cancer and different things like that. So if you're a guy transitioning from your 20s to your 30s, now is definitely the time to keep an eye on your body. So this year, 2015, I actually didn't go back to the U.S. very often. I only made it home one time last year, and I was there for about 3 weeks over the Christmas and New Year's holiday. And it made me realize who my real friends are. People who I had considered friends for years, they were acting kind of weird, and didn't really want to get together. And sometimes when we did get together, we didn't have much to talk about. And you start to realize that you grow apart and you change, or you change and they don't change, and that's perfectly okay. And I think it's important that we keep an eye on the people that we call friends and we consider friends, because those relationships tend to change. Now, I know some people who've had friends for 25, 30 years, and that's amazing. Unfortunately, I'm not that guy. So, especially given the lifestyle that I lead, it's difficult to form lasting, long-term, intimate relationships. However, the ones that I do are amazing, like just absolutely phenomenal, and those are definitely the people I want to hold on to. And I'm blessed to have friends all around the world that I can touch bases with and interact with. So if you have those friends, make sure those are the people who want to do silly things with you during the day and not just hit happy hour all the time. I realized something, and this was only maybe a week ago. There's a place in Bangkok called Khao San Road, and I went before I flew out to the islands. So Khao San Road is the bane of my existence. I absolutely despise the place, and I never understood why. I hated it so much. So I went there with a friend of mine who's also in her 30s, and I just watched, and I realized that Khao San Road's not designed for me as a 33-year-old black man. It's designed for the 19, 20-year-old middle-class white kid who just got away from their parents. It's an extreme backpacker culture fueled by alcohol and drugs. So that got me to thinking, what else in my life isn't designed for me? What other music isn't designed for me? We make a mission to talk shit about Justin Bieber, but Justin Bieber's not designed for me. I'm not his target audience, so why should I feel any kind of personal way about that young man? I need to start realizing what things are designed for me and start engaging them. Now that's not to say that I have to stay within a certain lane because of my newfound maturity or my age, but it's to say that I need to be more conscious of the things that I criticize and who those things are designed for originally, and just enjoy my 30s, enjoy being who I am, enjoy the things that I like, the places that I go, and don't feel like I have to apologize for the things that I like anymore. So I'm gonna wrap up with a few things that I'm looking forward to in 2016. I am actually only gonna be back I'm only in Asia for another maybe 5 days. I fly out next week to go to Dubai for a couple of days. And I go from Dubai, and I'm trying to get to Azerbaijan, Georgia, Armenia. Then I fly into Europe for a couple assignments with a friend of mine, a great photographer named Aline. We're going to be running around photographing some things. Then I'm meeting up with some friends. We're going to go from Prague to Budapest up to Krakow. And then we're going to go to Auschwitz and Birkenau. And then I'm going to try to make it back down to Italy and Spain and make my way around Europe to update my portfolio. Anybody who's seen my photography portfolio might notice it's a little bit dated in some areas. That's because I tend to, a lot of the photography work I do is for clients, which means I don't own those images anymore. They go to my client. So it's time for me to start photographing more for personal use. So yeah, 2016 is going to be more about personal growth, education, learning about myself, and trying to make it to 100 countries. I'm at 88, so we got 12 to go, y'all. So and pushing this YouTube channel. So please share it with your friends, subscribe, let me know what you think, comment, so I can share this journey with you guys on our way to 198. So I'll see you guys later. I am about to go get really, really drunk, probably. That's a high probability. So yeah, tweet me, Facebook me, Instagram me. I'll catch y'all later.